Hulu, as most people know, is a video stream provider, and we've gotten a data set on 20,000 Hulu users over a 4-month period, and we have information on everything that they've done on Hulu. So that includes everything that they've streamed, what it is they've streamed. We also know information on the ads that they were served. We also know whether they were pre-roll, mid-roll, or post-roll ads. We know how much video they consumed on Hulu. For each of the particular segments or shows. We know when they stopped watching a show or in some sense clicked off a show. And so we also know characteristics of the people. We also know characteristics of the ads. So was it a very visual ad? Was it a more text-based ad, etc.? And so the nice thing here is we can now go into the world of ad optimization. So we can start thinking about, do you have to do contextual ad showing? Do you actually have to match the ad with the show that someone's watching? Does it matter the characteristics of the individual? So in some way you have what I call the big three of contextual advertising, which is characteristics of the people, characteristics of the ad, and characteristics of the show. And how will each of those play out on Hulu? Now, to say that that's kind of our grand vision of what to do with the Hulu data, what we've done so far is purely look at what are called incidence models, which means on a given day, did a given person go to Hulu or not? And so all we're trying to do right now is to accurately match reach and frequency of the Hulu data. So can we predict these 20,000 people, let's say we take the first 3 months of data, in this case it's February, March, and April of last year, can we predict what these people are going to do in May? Can we out of sample forecast the consumption that these people are going to have? Now this is hugely important for Hulu because again, both towards advertising revenue, both towards if they are able to find individuals that are likely to be less interested in Hulu, maybe they can prompt them with email, so in a customer relationship management kind of way, they can kind of reprime the pump with these customers. And so we've been working very closely with management at Hulu to try to find out the business problems they're interested in and then what we can do. And what we found actually is very interesting. A lot of this type of work has been done historically in consumer packaged goods. Let's say someone buying Tide soap detergent over time. The patterns in interactive media are very, very different in the following very specific way. People tend to go through periods of what I would call hyperactivity, meaning, you're on Hulu and you're just watching Hulu over and over again. And then you go through dormant periods where in traditional models people would say, Eric Bradlow has died, meaning it's the classic buy till you die model, meaning you go through periods of high activity and then all of a sudden you kind of fall asleep. The problem with interactive media data is you wake up again. And so you go through periods of hyperactivity, low activity, and then hyperactivity again. And that's crucial. That's very, very different than in traditional marketing studies and traditional consumer packaged goods. And so we're developing a set of models that allow people to kind of go hot, cold, 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 hot, hot. And so those types of models really haven't been developed before, and they're very different. Or if you'd like, we're going to allow for hyperactivity and clumpiness, which really didn't exist in other types of models before.